Hawaiian is the feast of our people.
Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use.
Chief of War is an ambitious historical drama series that transports viewers to late 18th century Hawaii, a time of significant political turmoil, cultural richness, and social transformation. The series was co-created by Jason Momoa and Thomas Pa Sibbitt, both of whom bring a deeply personal and culturally informed perspective to the narrative. As a production, it stands out not only for its cinematic quality and epic storytelling but also for its dedication to authenticity, representation, and historical accuracy. The story focuses on Kaiana, a Hawaiian warrior chief from the island of Kauai, whose life and decisions become central to the unfolding drama of inter-island politics and the looming pressures of Western colonization. Kaiana's journey is one of bravery, moral complexity, and strategic thinking, as he navigates the challenges of leadership, loyalty, and cultural identity in a rapidly changing world. The series is produced for Apple TV Plus and is delivered as a 9-episode limited series, blending Hawaiian and English languages to convey authenticity while remaining accessible to a global audience. The plot begins with the fragmented Hawaiian archipelago, divided into multiple chiefdoms, each ruled by powerful alii, chiefs, who often engaged in both strategic alliances and bloody conflicts. These islands, though geographically close, experienced centuries of political tension and occasional warfare, making the process of unification fraught with both opportunity and peril. The narrative introduces Kaiana as a compelling and charismatic figure who is initially detached from the immediate struggles of his homeland. His travels abroad, interactions with foreign influences, and exposure to wider global dynamics position him uniquely upon his return, enabling him to bring new strategies, insights, and perspectives to the local conflicts. The storytelling does not merely present battles and political intrigue, it delves into the cultural, social, and spiritual dimensions of Hawaiian society. Viewers witness rituals, customs, and everyday life of Hawaii in ways rarely depicted on mainstream screens, emphasizing respect for indigenous traditions and the spiritual significance of land, family, and leadership. Central to the drama is the tension between tradition and change, particularly as Kaiana interacts with other prominent chiefs, including Kahekili and Kiua, as well as the figure of Kamehameha I, whose eventual ambition to unify the islands becomes a focal point of historical narrative. These interactions are characterized by alliances, betrayals, and moral dilemmas, highlighting the complexity of leadership in times of crisis. The characters are multidimensional, each driven by personal motivations, family obligations, and cultural responsibilities, which are carefully explored throughout the series. The portrayal of these figures is enhanced by a predominantly Polynesian cast, ensuring that representation is authentic, nuanced, and deeply connected to the real histories and lived experiences of the communities depicted. Jason Momoa's portrayal of Kaiana is central to the emotional impact of the series, blending physical prowess with reflective, strategic thinking, offering audiences a hero who is both capable and profoundly human. The visual style of the series is meticulously crafted, combining expansive shots of Hawaiian landscapes with intimate portrayals of human drama. Filming took place both in Hawaii and New Zealand, chosen for their capacity to replicate the natural beauty, diverse terrains, and historical environments of the late 18th century islands. These locations provide a cinematic backdrop that is both breathtaking and historically resonant, reinforcing the epic scale of the story while grounding it in realistic geography. The costume design, set design, and attention to historical detail further enhance the immersive experience. The series emphasizes authenticity in every detail, from weaponry and battle strategies to clothing, tattoos, and the rituals of daily life, creating a visual tapestry that educates as it entertains. Music plays a crucial role in shaping the emotional and narrative tone of the series. Composed by Hans Zimmer in collaboration with James Everingham, the score blends traditional Polynesian instruments with cinematic orchestration, evoking the grandeur and tension of the historical period. The sound design complements the visual storytelling, amplifying the stakes of warfare, the intimacy of personal moments, and the sacredness of cultural rituals. Language is also a key element. Significant portions of dialogue are delivered in Lelo Hawaiian, reinforcing the authenticity of the series while promoting the revitalization of the Hawaiian language. Subtitles provide accessibility for international viewers, allowing them to engage fully with the narrative without sacrificing cultural fidelity. The release of Chief of War on Apple TV Plus in August 2025 marked a significant milestone in global media representation, as it brought to the forefront a historical narrative often overlooked in mainstream entertainment. The premiere, featuring the first 2 episodes, immediately set the tone for an epic series characterized by rich storytelling, cultural depth, and historical complexity. Subsequent episodes were released weekly, allowing audiences to digest the unfolding drama in a manner reminiscent of traditional serial storytelling. The series was received positively by both critics and audiences for its compelling narrative, visual authenticity, and respectful portrayal of Hawaiian culture. Analysts highlighted its contribution to diversifying mainstream media by centering an indigenous perspective and providing a platform for Polynesian talent. While Chief of War is rooted in historical events, the series employs creative license to heighten drama and narrative tension. Battles are choreographed with cinematic flair while still maintaining historical plausibility, and political negotiations are dramatized to illustrate the complexities of inter-island relations. Beyond the action, the series emphasizes the personal journeys of its characters, exploring themes of loyalty, honor, ambition, and the burdens of leadership. Kaiana, in particular, is portrayed as a figure torn between personal desires and communal responsibilities, embodying the challenges faced by leaders in both historical and universal contexts. His relationships with family, allies, and adversaries reveal layers of emotional depth, moral ambiguity, and strategic calculation, making him a compelling central figure whose story resonates beyond the specific historical period. Cultural authenticity is woven into every aspect of the series. The involvement of Hawaiian historians, cultural consultants, and local communities ensures that depictions of rituals, governance, and social hierarchies are accurate and respectful. The series highlights the importance of oral traditions, storytelling, and genealogy in Hawaiian society, showing how leadership and identity are deeply intertwined with heritage and ancestry. Moreover, the narrative addresses the early impacts of European contact, including trade, disease, and cultural exchange, providing a nuanced view of a society on the cusp of profound transformation. The trailer, released in July 2025, effectively conveys the epic scope of the series. It showcases expansive battle sequences, dramatic confrontations between key characters, and breathtaking landscapes, all while hinting at the deeper cultural and emotional stakes. The trailer emphasizes that Chief of War is not only an action-packed historical drama but also a story of identity, resilience, and the enduring human spirit. Audience anticipation was heightened by the combination of cinematic spectacle, strong performances, and the promise of a historically grounded narrative told through the eyes of its own people. Chief of War also functions as a broader cultural statement, reclaiming Hawaiian history from external narratives and asserting the importance of indigenous voices in media. By centering Kaiana and other Hawaiian figures as protagonists of their own stories, the series challenges long-standing stereotypes and omissions in historical storytelling. It invites viewers to engage with Hawaiian history as a living, dynamic narrative, emphasizing the agency, wisdom, and complexity of its people. The production's emphasis on authentic casting, language preservation, and historical research reinforces this mission, making the series both educational and entertaining. The cast, beyond Momoa, includes Lucienne Buchanan as Kahumanu, Temuera Morrison as Chief Kahekili, Cliff Curtis as Kiua, and Kaina Mekua as Kamehameha I. Supporting roles include Moses Goods, Te Ao Hainapinga, and others, all contributing to a richly textured ensemble that reflects the diversity and strength of Hawaiian society. Each performance is grounded in cultural knowledge and personal investment, adding authenticity and emotional resonance to the narrative. The ensemble's cohesion enhances the storytelling, allowing complex political and interpersonal dynamics to unfold with clarity and impact. Chief of War is a sweeping historical drama series set in late 18th century Hawaii, a time when the Hawaiian Islands were fragmented into 4 major kingdoms, each ruled by powerful chiefs competing for dominance. Created and produced by Jason Momoa and Thomas Pa Sibit for Apple TV+, the series represents an ambitious effort to tell Hawaiian history from an authentic Indigenous perspective. Unlike traditional Hollywood narratives that often depict native cultures through the lens of outsiders, Chief of War places Polynesian voices, language, and customs at the forefront, creating an immersive portrayal of a world on the brink of monumental change. The series is deeply personal for Momoa, who has described it as a homage to his heritage and a way to reclaim stories often marginalized in mainstream media. The narrative blends epic war drama with intimate character studies, exploring themes of loyalty, ambition, cultural identity, and the human cost of power struggles. Set against the lush landscapes and oceans of Hawaii, the story centers on Kaiana, a skilled and ambitious war chief portrayed by Momoa, whose return from overseas journeys coincides with a period of intense political upheaval. The islands are divided and constantly at war, with each chief navigating shifting alliances and personal rivalries. Kaiana, having witnessed the outside world, brings a unique perspective to the internal politics of the islands. He faces a delicate balance between upholding his cultural heritage, fulfilling his duties as a leader, and confronting the ambitions of other chiefs, including the formidable King Kahekili of Maui and Kiua of Hawaii. Throughout the series, Kaiana is portrayed as both a warrior and a strategist, a man of strength and vision whose personal ambitions and loyalties are tested against the backdrop of unification wars. The series takes care to illustrate the complex relationships between characters, showing that alliances in this era were rarely permanent and often guided by pragmatism rather than sentiment. Kaiana's relationships are central to the narrative, particularly with Kahumanu, a Hawaiian noblewoman of significant influence, who serves as both a political ally and a moral compass at critical moments in the story. Supporting characters, such as Kamehameha I, who would later unify the Hawaiian Islands, and various other chiefs and warriors, are portrayed in rich, multidimensional ways, reflecting both their human vulnerabilities and their strategic acumen. The show emphasizes the heavy burden of leadership and the consequences of decisions that affect entire communities, highlighting how individual ambition intersects with collective destiny. Visually, Chief of War is notable for its commitment to authenticity. The series employs Hawaiian language in dialogue where appropriate, features traditional attire, weaponry, and ceremonies, and depicts the island's natural beauty with cinematic grandeur. Each battle scene, ritual, and negotiation is framed not merely as spectacle but as a reflection of the culture, strategy, and values of the time. The production involved extensive consultation with cultural experts to ensure accuracy and respect, making it as much an educational portrayal as it is an engaging drama. The music, composed by Hans Zimmer alongside James Everingham, underscores the narrative with a score that combines orchestral grandeur with traditional Polynesian elements, further immersing viewers in the period. The plot unfolds over 9 episodes, beginning with Kaiana's homecoming and his immediate confrontation with the fractured political landscape. Early episodes focus on character establishment, showing Kaiana's relationships, his personal code, and his growing awareness of the shifting alliances around him. As the series progresses, viewers witness intricate political maneuvering, including betrayals, secret pacts, and strategic marriages, all of which serve as instruments of power consolidation. Kaiana's own path is complicated by his exposure to foreign influences and technology, which he must weigh against the traditional methods and customs of his people. This tension between innovation and tradition recurs throughout the series, providing both narrative momentum and philosophical depth. Midway through the series, the intensity escalates as major battles take place, demonstrating the brutal realities of warfare in this period. Unlike stylized Hollywood combat, the series shows the strategic considerations of warfare, including terrain, alliances, and resource management. Characters are tested physically, morally, and emotionally, and their triumphs and failures have long-lasting consequences. Kaiana's personal journey is intertwined with these battles, his decisions on the field and in council shape not only his destiny but also the broader fate of the islands. The narrative consistently emphasizes the stakes of leadership. Every choice carries profound repercussions for both the people and the culture they represent. The later episodes focus on the consolidation of power and the inevitable confrontation between ambition and loyalty. Key turning points involve the rise of Kamehameha I and the realignment of certain chiefs, including Kaiana, whose allegiances are tested in ways that force difficult moral and strategic decisions. These episodes explore themes of honor, betrayal, and reconciliation, illustrating the complexity of human motivations in times of upheaval. The series culminates in climactic confrontations, both martial and political, that determine the trajectory of Hawaiian history. The resolution balances historical outcomes with personal character arcs, providing closure while leaving room for reflection on the enduring significance of these events. Critically, Chief of War has been praised for its ambitious scope, cultural authenticity, and emotional depth. It is recognized not merely as entertainment but as a vehicle for cultural education and reclamation. By presenting Hawaiian history through indigenous eyes, the series challenges long-standing stereotypes and introduces audiences to a nuanced understanding of leadership, warfare, and society in 18th century Hawaii. The performances, particularly Momoa's portrayal of Kaiana, have been lauded for their intensity and authenticity, and the ensemble cast collectively brings depth and credibility to the portrayal of a complex historical period. The production design, language use, and musical composition have all contributed to making the series a visually and emotionally compelling experience. Beyond entertainment, the series holds social and cultural significance. It represents an effort to tell history that has often been overshadowed by colonial narratives, offering a platform for indigenous voices and perspectives. The use of Hawaiian language, customs, and storytelling traditions serves both as preservation and celebration of cultural heritage. The series also engages with contemporary discussions about representation, historical memory, and the ethics of storytelling, providing viewers with an immersive historical experience while prompting reflection on broader issues of identity, power, and legacy. In summary, Chief of War is a landmark series in historical drama, blending epic storytelling with cultural authenticity. Through its focus on Kaiana and the unification wars of Hawaii, the series explores the interplay of personal ambition, loyalty, and historical destiny. It provides a rare and nuanced portrayal of Hawaiian history, combining the spectacle of epic battles with intimate character studies and cultural reverence. The series' success lies in its ability to educate, entertain, and provoke thought, making it a powerful contribution to both television and the broader understanding of Indigenous history. Chief of War is an ambitious historical drama series that brings to life a period of Hawaiian history that is rarely depicted in mainstream media. Centered around the unification of the Hawaiian Islands during the late 18th century, the series portrays the life and struggles of Kaiana, a high-ranking warrior chief navigating the complexities of inter-island rivalries, foreign influences, and the burdens of leadership. The series is produced in the United States and released on Apple TV+, and it represents a milestone in culturally authentic storytelling. Created by Jason Momoa and Thomas Pa Sibbitt, the series is a personal passion project, reflecting years of dedication to telling a story deeply rooted in Hawaiian culture and history. Unlike typical Hollywood depictions of Hawaii, which often focus on exoticized landscapes or superficial narratives, Chief of War emphasizes the lived experiences, struggles, and resilience of the indigenous people. It blends the epic scale of a historical drama with a commitment to authenticity, from the use of the Hawaiian language to meticulously reconstructed villages and traditional costumes. The plot of Chief of War unfolds during a turbulent time in Hawaii, when the islands were divided among multiple kingdoms, each ruled by its own alii or chief. Inter-island warfare was common, and alliances shifted rapidly as leaders sought to expand their influence or defend their territory. Into this world comes Kaiana, a warrior who has traveled abroad and returned with new perspectives, knowledge, and connections. His experiences outside Hawaii give him a unique lens through which to view the political and military struggles of his homeland. He finds himself at the center of power struggles, navigating alliances, betrayals, and moral dilemmas that test his loyalty, courage, and principles. While Kaiana is a skilled warrior and strategist, he is also a deeply reflective character whose internal conflicts mirror the broader cultural and political upheavals of the time. The narrative does not merely depict battles and conquests, it explores the human cost of war, the sacrifices demanded of leaders, and the delicate balance between personal ambition and the welfare of the people. A major strength of Chief of War is its dedication to cultural representation. Much of the dialogue is in Lelo Hawaiian, the native Hawaiian language, allowing the series to convey the rhythm, tone, and nuance of traditional Hawaiian communication. English is also used, particularly in interactions with foreign traders or explorers, which reflects the historical realities of the period when Europeans, Americans, and other outsiders began interacting with Hawaiian society. The decision to incorporate the native language throughout the series is complemented by the casting of Polynesian actors in principal roles, ensuring that the portrayals are culturally grounded. Jason Momoa himself stars as Kaiana, bringing both charisma and gravitas to the role. Other notable cast members include Lucienne Buchanan as Kahumanu, Temuera Morrison as Chief Kahekili, Cliff Curtis as Kiua, and Kana Mekua as Kamehameha I, each contributing nuanced performances that highlight the complexity of Hawaiian leadership, politics, and family dynamics. The production of Chief of War is noteworthy for its scale and attention to detail. Filming took place across various locations in Hawaii and New Zealand, chosen for their natural beauty as well as their ability to stand in for historical settings. Traditional Hawaiian structures, such as thatched houses, temples, and fortifications, were reconstructed with the guidance of cultural consultants to ensure historical accuracy. Costumes were designed to reflect the hierarchy and social status of characters, incorporating authentic materials, patterns, and adornments. Weaponry, canoes, and other tools of the period were recreated to align with historical records, contributing to the immersive experience. The music, composed by Hans Zimmer in collaboration with James Everingham, underscores both the grandeur and the emotional depth of the story, weaving traditional Hawaiian motifs with cinematic orchestration. Cinematography plays a critical role as well, capturing both the intimate moments of personal reflection and the vast, dramatic landscapes that form the backdrop of the series' conflicts. From a historical perspective, the series is inspired by the real-life unification of Hawaii under Kamehameha I. While the series condenses and dramatizes events for narrative cohesion, it remains rooted in historical fact, highlighting the political machinations, strategic alliances, and military campaigns that defined the period. The character of Kaiana, while central to the narrative, serves as a lens through which the audience can explore these larger historical dynamics. His interactions with other chiefs, foreign traders, and his own people provide insight into the complex web of loyalties and obligations that shaped decision-making at the time. The series also addresses the broader theme of Western influence, as the arrival of foreign ships brought new technologies, trade opportunities, and threats, forcing Hawaiian leaders to adapt or risk subjugation. Through these storylines, Chief of War raises profound questions about cultural identity, sovereignty, and the tension between tradition and change. The first season of Chief of War premiered on August 1, 2025, on Apple TV+. It consists of 9 episodes, released on a weekly schedule, with the final episode concluding in mid-September 2025. The release strategy was designed to build anticipation and allow viewers to engage with the narrative over time, reflecting the episodic unfolding of historical events. The official trailer, released on July 10, 2025, set the tone for the series, showcasing epic battle sequences, stunning landscapes, and emotionally charged interactions between characters. The trailer emphasized the dual focus of the series, the personal journey of Kaiana and the larger historical transformation of Hawaii. It also highlighted the production's commitment to authenticity, from the depiction of traditional warfare techniques to the visual representation of Hawaiian society in the late 18th century. Chief of War is an ambitious historical drama series released in 2025 that represents a groundbreaking moment in television, bringing to life the rich history of the Hawaiian Islands during a period of unification and transformation. Created by Jason Momoa and Thomas Pa Sibit, the series is a co-production between several high-profile companies, including Chernin Entertainment, Fifth Season, Hard J Productions, and On the Roam. Unlike many historical dramas, Chief of War is not only visually striking but also culturally authentic, featuring substantial portions of dialogue in the native Hawaiian language alongside English. This linguistic choice, paired with meticulous attention to period-accurate costumes, weaponry, and settings, underlines the creator's commitment to faithfully representing the island's history and the lives of its indigenous people. The show seeks to transport viewers to a time before Hawaii became a unified kingdom under Kamehameha I, portraying the political, cultural, and personal conflicts that shaped this era. It blends epic storytelling with intimate character studies, exploring the human and societal costs of war, loyalty, and ambition. The narrative of Chief of War centers around the character of Kaiana, a Hawaiian warrior chief whose journey forms the backbone of the series. Kaiana is depicted as a complex figure, a man of both ambition and deep cultural attachment, who returns to Hawaii after traveling abroad and gaining knowledge of Western weaponry, maritime technology, and strategic warfare. His return coincides with a period of intense conflict among the islands, where rival chiefs vied for power and influence. While the series takes creative liberties for dramatic purposes, the historical inspiration is clear. The Hawaiian Islands in the late 18th and early 19th centuries were fragmented politically, with each major island, Hawaii, Maui, Oahu, and Kauai, maintaining separate leadership and often engaging in territorial wars. Kaiana's knowledge and experience from the outside world position him as both an asset and a potential threat to those vying for supremacy, particularly Kamehameha I, whose ambition to unite the islands under a single rule forms a central narrative arc. The plot explores not only the external conflicts of war but also the internal struggles of Kaiana and other central characters. Loyalty, identity, and cultural preservation are recurring themes throughout the series. Kaiana's journey is as much about understanding where he belongs within a changing political landscape as it is about military strategy. As the story progresses, he grapples with the ethical implications of supporting Kamehameha's unification campaign while reconciling his loyalty to his home island and ancestral traditions. These moral dilemmas extend to other characters as well, creating a richly woven narrative that delves into personal ambition, betrayal, family ties, and the tension between embracing external influences versus maintaining cultural autonomy. The series skillfully balances these interpersonal conflicts with grand-scale depictions of battles, political intrigue, and strategic maneuvering, immersing viewers in the intensity and complexity of the era. The cast of Chief of War is notable both for star power and cultural authenticity. Jason Momoa, widely known for his work in Aquaman and Game of Thrones, plays Kaiana, bringing a commanding presence and nuanced emotional depth to the role. Alongside him, Lucienne Buchanan portrays Kahumanu, while Temuera Morrison embodies King Kahekili, and Kaina Mekua takes on the role of Kamehameha I. Supporting cast members include Te Ao Hainapiinga, Te Ko Tohaka, Brandon Finn, Sua Ikaleo, Mene Kinamaka, Roimata Fox, Moses Goods, James Yudum, and Benjamin Hodges, representing a mix of historical figures and fictionalized characters to enrich the narrative. Several former professional rugby players appear as warriors, lending authenticity and physicality to the battle sequences. The casting emphasizes the importance of representing the diverse and intricate social fabric of the islands while providing a spectacle of engaging performances. Behind the camera, Chief of War boasts an equally impressive team. The creators, Momoa and Sibit, are joined by executive producers from multiple production companies, ensuring the series benefits from significant resources and industry expertise. The musical score, composed by Hans Zimmer and James Everingham, combines traditional Hawaiian instruments and chanting with cinematic orchestration, enhancing both the emotional resonance and cultural fidelity of the series. Directors, including Momoa himself and Justin Chan among others, bring distinct visual storytelling techniques to different episodes, balancing intimate character moments with sweeping, cinematic depictions of the islands and battlefield choreography. The production design, cinematography, and costume work have been widely praised for their attention to historical detail and immersive quality, contributing to a viewing experience that feels both epic and grounded in reality. Chief of War premiered on Apple TV Plus on August 1, 2025, as a 9-episode series with new episodes released weekly, culminating with the season finale on September 19, 2025. The series is available in high-definition streaming and has drawn attention for both its narrative ambition and technical sophistication. Its release strategy reflects a modern approach to serialized storytelling, allowing audiences to engage with each episode as part of a broader unfolding epic while encouraging discussion and reflection on the historical and cultural themes presented. The availability on a global platform like Apple TV Plus has also expanded the reach of Hawaiian history and culture, providing viewers around the world with access to a story that has traditionally been underrepresented in mainstream media. The series has been met with critical acclaim for its ambitious scope, visual storytelling, and commitment to cultural authenticity. Critics have highlighted the strength of the performances, particularly Momoa's portrayal of Kaiana, and the series' ability to present a nuanced historical narrative without reducing characters to simplistic archetypes. The cinematography, production design, and choreography of battle sequences have been lauded as particularly impressive, creating an immersive experience that captures both the beauty and brutality of the Hawaiian Islands and the era it depicts. Some critics note that the pacing and intensity of the series may feel overwhelming at times, as the series seeks to balance character development with large-scale conflict and political complexity. Nevertheless, the show has been praised for offering a fresh and compelling perspective on Hawaiian history, blending education with entertainment. Beyond its entertainment value, Chief of War carries significant cultural and historical importance. By centering on the unification wars of Hawaii and the personal stories of its leaders, the series sheds light on a critical period that is rarely dramatized in popular media. The creator's deliberate use of the Hawaiian language, engagement with cultural consultants, and portrayal of indigenous customs and rituals demonstrate a commitment to preserving and respecting the culture. This approach contrasts sharply with past media portrayals that often marginalized or misrepresented native Hawaiian perspectives. Furthermore, the series' exploration of themes such as loyalty, cultural identity, and the impact of external influences resonates beyond its historical setting, offering viewers a reflection on universal human experiences in the context of societal transformation. The series also offers a broader commentary on colonial influence, the arrival of Western technology and ideas, and the tension between modernization and cultural preservation. Kaiana's personal conflict, as he navigates his role as a warrior, advisor, and cultural guardian, mirrors the historical tension faced by Hawaiian leaders as they confronted European and American incursions. The inclusion of foreign characters, weapons, and ideas within the narrative highlights the complexity of these interactions and adds depth to the series' portrayal of a transformative period in Hawaiian history. Through these storytelling choices, Chief of War not only entertains but also educates viewers about the delicate balance between embracing change and maintaining cultural integrity, a theme that resonates with contemporary global audiences. The official trailer, released prior to the premiere, provides a striking introduction to the series, showcasing breathtaking landscapes, intense battle sequences, and ceremonial scenes that underscore the cultural richness of the Hawaiian people. The trailer emphasizes the duality of the series, epic war and political intrigue alongside intimate character-driven drama. The visual style of the series combines sweeping wide shots of the island's natural beauty with tightly framed, emotionally charged scenes that highlight personal stakes. Costume design, weaponry, and choreography are presented with meticulous attention to historical accuracy, enhancing the series' immersive quality and further distinguishing it from conventional historical dramas. In summary, Chief of War is an ambitious, visually stunning, and culturally significant series that brings a pivotal period of Hawaiian history to global audiences. Through its nuanced storytelling, compelling performances, and commitment to authenticity, it offers both entertainment and education, illuminating the personal, political, and cultural dimensions of unification in Hawaii. By exploring complex themes such as loyalty, identity, and the influence of external forces, the series presents a layered narrative that resonates with contemporary audiences while honoring the historical experiences of the Hawaiian people. Its combination of epic scale, character depth, and cultural fidelity sets it apart as a landmark project in modern television, and its availability on Apple TV Plus ensures that this story reaches viewers worldwide. Chief of War stands as a testament to the power of storytelling to preserve history, celebrate culture, and engage audiences in reflection on the human condition across time and place. As the series progresses, the audience gains a deeper understanding of the socio-political fabric of late 18th century Hawaii. The islands, though geographically isolated, are depicted as interconnected through intricate networks of kinship, trade, and warfare. Chiefs and alii wield authority not only through military might but also through ritual, diplomacy, and social influence. Kayana's navigation of these networks showcases his intelligence and adaptability, portraying leadership as a balance between strategy, moral judgment, and the ability to inspire loyalty. The series emphasizes that the unification of the islands is not merely a matter of conquest, it is a complex process influenced by cultural norms, familial obligations, and the spiritual responsibilities associated with rulership. The series invests substantial effort in depicting the realities of Hawaiian warfare, illustrating both its brutality and its strategic sophistication. Battles are choreographed with attention to historical accuracy, showcasing the use of traditional weapons, formations, and tactics unique to the Hawaiian archipelago. Viewers witness not only large-scale confrontations but also the psychological and social effects of conflict on communities, families, and individual warriors. These sequences are punctuated with moments of reflection and ritual, reminding audiences that warfare is intertwined with honor, spirituality, and the preservation of cultural integrity. The depiction of combat is both thrilling and thought-provoking, offering a nuanced view of leadership under pressure. Interpersonal relationships form the emotional core of the narrative. Kayana's interactions with other chiefs, family members, and advisors reveal the human dimensions of leadership. Loyalty, trust, betrayal, and ambition are recurring motifs, explored through carefully constructed dialogues and character dynamics. For instance, alliances with certain chiefs are portrayed as fragile and contingent, reflecting the constantly shifting political landscape. Romantic and familial bonds are also explored, illustrating how personal desires intersect with broader social and political responsibilities. This emphasis on character-driven storytelling ensures that the series is not solely an action spectacle but also a profound exploration of human motivations, ethics, and resilience. The series also examines the early impacts of European contact on the Hawaiian Islands. The arrival of foreign traders, missionaries, and explorers introduces new technologies, ideas, and diseases, dramatically altering the political and cultural landscape. Kayana and other characters respond to these changes in diverse ways, ranging from strategic adoption of foreign practices to cautious resistance in order to preserve cultural integrity. These interactions are portrayed with complexity, avoiding simplistic depictions of colonization as purely oppressive or purely beneficial. Instead, the narrative emphasizes the adaptive strategies of Hawaiian leaders, highlighting their agency, negotiation skills, and foresight in a rapidly changing world. Cultural representation is central to the series. Authentic language use, traditional music, and accurate depictions of rituals serve not only to enrich the narrative but also to affirm Hawaiian identity. Language is treated as a living element of storytelling, with characters speaking Lelo Hawaiian in key moments to convey cultural nuance and authority. Music, composed by Hans Zimmer and James Everingham, complements these elements, incorporating traditional rhythms and instruments to underscore emotional beats and ceremonial moments. Costuming and set design similarly reflect historical accuracy, with meticulous attention to materials, patterns, and symbolic elements. Together, these components create an immersive viewing experience that respects and celebrates Hawaiian culture. Kayana's character arc is a study in moral complexity. He is presented as both a formidable warrior and a reflective thinker, navigating ethical dilemmas that challenge his loyalty, honor, and sense of justice. The series portrays his internal conflicts as central to the narrative, showing that true leadership involves difficult choices, sacrifices, and accountability. This nuanced portrayal distinguishes Chief of War from conventional historical dramas, offering a protagonist whose heroism is defined not merely by physical prowess but by wisdom, compassion, and cultural awareness. The narrative structure of the series balances episodic developments with a broader, overarching story. Each episode contributes to the depiction of political, cultural, and personal dynamics while gradually advancing the historical timeline toward the eventual unification efforts of Kamehameha I. Subplots involving secondary characters enrich the story, revealing diverse perspectives on governance, family, spirituality, and survival. These layered narratives allow the audience to appreciate the complexity of the historical period, understanding that the unfolding events are shaped by a web of interdependent factors rather than linear cause and effect relationships. The production design enhances the storytelling by creating visually striking environments that reflect both the beauty and danger of the Hawaiian Islands. Lush landscapes, volcanic terrains, dense forests, and coastal vistas are captured with cinematic clarity, providing a sense of scale and immersion. Interior settings, such as royal residences, temples, and meeting halls, are designed to reflect social hierarchies and ritual significance, reinforcing the cultural authenticity of the narrative. Lighting, camera work, and composition are used strategically to evoke mood, tension, and emotional resonance, supporting the series' thematic and narrative goals. Throughout the series, ethical and philosophical questions are woven into the plot. Characters grapple with the tension between individual desires and collective responsibilities, the morality of warfare, and the obligations of leadership to future generations. Kayana's decisions often reflect these tensions, illustrating the balance between pragmatism and principle. The series prompts viewers to consider how history is shaped not only by events but by the choices of individuals, each influenced by culture, circumstance, and personal values. This thematic depth distinguishes Chief of War as more than entertainment, positioning it as a thoughtful exploration of leadership, identity, and historical memory. The performances of the cast contribute significantly to the series' impact. Jason Momoa's portrayal of Kayana combines physical intensity with nuanced emotional expression, creating a hero who is compellingly human. Supporting actors, including Temuera Morrison, Cliff Curtis, Lucianne Buchanan, and Kaina Mekua, deliver performances that convey the authority, vulnerability, and cultural depth of their characters. The ensemble's cohesion allows complex political and interpersonal dynamics to unfold naturally, enhancing the realism and emotional resonance of the story. Each character, regardless of screen time, contributes to the richness of the narrative, reflecting the interconnectedness of individuals within Hawaiian society. As the series progresses beyond Kayana's return to Hawaii, the narrative delves into the intricate interplay of politics, family ties, and inter-island rivalries. Early episodes focus on establishing the fractured nature of the Hawaiian Islands during this period. Each island operates almost autonomously, with local chiefs exercising absolute authority over their people, enforcing both cultural laws and personal codes of conduct. Kayana's arrival is immediately disruptive because he has been exposed to foreign ideas and methods during his travels, bringing with him knowledge that could alter the balance of power. This sets up one of the central tensions of the series, how traditional Hawaiian practices and leadership principles intersect with new strategies and global influences. Kayana's first interactions with other key chiefs are layered with diplomacy and subtle threats. King Kahekili of Maui, a formidable and cunning leader, initially views Kayana's return with suspicion. Kahekili's personality is portrayed as charismatic yet ruthless, often using charm to mask his ambitions. In contrast, Kiua, a chief from Hawaii Island, represents the old guard, steadfast in his adherence to tradition and wary of foreign influence. Through these interactions, the series illustrates that leadership in 18th-century Hawaii was as much about negotiation, perception, and reputation as it was about military strength. Alliances are fluid, with loyalty often contingent on immediate advantage, a reality Kayana quickly learns to navigate. The series invests significant time in character development, particularly in exploring the psychological and emotional landscape of its main characters. Kayana is depicted not only as a warrior but as a thinker, deeply reflective about the consequences of his actions. Moments of introspection show him wrestling with the morality of war, the responsibilities of leadership, and the pressures of living up to the expectations of his lineage. Kahumanu's role expands over these episodes, portraying her as a politically astute and morally grounded figure. She challenges Kayana to consider broader implications beyond personal gain, reinforcing the idea that the survival and prosperity of the islands depend on wisdom as much as strength. Cultural rituals and spiritual practices are woven seamlessly into the narrative, emphasizing that warfare and leadership were inseparable from religious and ceremonial obligations. Viewers witness carefully depicted scenes of offerings, prayers, and consultations with kahunas, priests or spiritual advisors, which serve not only as storytelling devices but also as educational insight into Hawaiian life. The creators take care to portray these elements with respect and authenticity, consulting historians and cultural experts to ensure accurate representation. The result is a richly textured world where strategy, spirituality, and societal norms coexist, providing depth that goes beyond conventional war dramas. As the series moves into mid-season episodes, the scale of conflict escalates. Battles are portrayed with meticulous attention to strategy, terrain, and the limitations of the period's technology. Kayana must lead his forces through dense forests, across treacherous volcanic terrain, and over coral-strewn coastlines, often confronting not only enemy forces but also natural obstacles. These sequences highlight the ingenuity and adaptability of Hawaiian warriors, emphasizing that victory often required careful planning and deep understanding of the environment. Moreover, these battles are not mere spectacle, they carry significant consequences, affecting political alliances, territorial control, and the morale of populations. Interpersonal conflicts drive much of the narrative tension. Kayana's relationships with other chiefs and allies are repeatedly tested. Betrayals occur, sometimes unexpectedly, reflecting the fragile nature of trust in this era. Strategic marriages, alliances, and negotiations are depicted as essential tools for maintaining power, and the series highlights the personal cost of these political maneuvers. The audience sees characters wrestling with loyalty, love, and ambition, often facing ethical dilemmas where no choice is entirely without consequence. These complex dynamics make the characters feel realistic and grounded, heightening the emotional impact of the storyline. Throughout the mid-season, the emergence of Kamehameha I as a significant figure adds historical gravitas to the series. Kamehameha's early life and rise to prominence are portrayed in a nuanced manner, showing both his tactical genius and the strategic acumen that would eventually lead to the unification of Hawaii. The interplay between Kayana and Kamehameha is particularly compelling. Initially, their interests align at certain points, fostering temporary alliances, but ideological and personal differences introduce tension. This dynamic embodies the broader thematic exploration of power, ambition, and legacy, offering viewers insight into the historical forces that shaped the island's future. The narrative also delves into the influence of foreign presence. European and American traders, missionaries, and explorers appear intermittently, introducing new technologies, weapons, and ideas. Kayana, having traveled abroad, is often caught between integrating these innovations and preserving traditional Hawaiian methods. This tension underscores a recurring theme in the series, the impact of globalization on indigenous societies. Rather than presenting foreign influence as a simple good or evil, the series explores its complexities, showing how adaptation and resistance coexist in shaping history. In terms of character arcs, several supporting characters receive rich development. Kahumanu evolves into a central figure in her own right, demonstrating intelligence, resilience, and political insight. Other chiefs and warriors, initially perceived as secondary, are gradually fleshed out through backstories, moral dilemmas, and battlefield decisions, ensuring that the audience appreciates the intricate web of relationships and motivations. The series places particular emphasis on portraying these characters as multidimensional humans rather than caricatures, reflecting the nuanced reality of leadership and societal hierarchies in 18th-century Hawaii. By the latter episodes, the tension reaches its peak as alliances solidify, betrayals come to light, and the consequences of earlier decisions unfold. Kayana faces pivotal choices that define not only his personal legacy but also the fate of the islands. Strategic confrontations with Kahekili, Kiua, and other chiefs culminate in large-scale battles that test the limits of strategy, courage, and endurance. The series does not shy away from depicting the human cost of these conflicts. Loss, injury, and moral compromise are portrayed with emotional honesty, emphasizing the stakes involved in the unification struggles. The final episodes balance historical outcomes with personal resolution. While the series dramatizes certain events for narrative effect, it remains grounded in historical reality, showing the emergence of Kamehameha as a unifying force and the eventual consolidation of power across the islands. Kaiana's journey concludes with reflection on his contributions, sacrifices, and the enduring legacy of his actions. The series leaves viewers with a sense of both closure and contemplation, highlighting how individual ambition, cultural integrity, and historical forces intersect to shape destiny. Visually and orally, the series continues to impress through its attention to detail and immersive production design. Costume authenticity, historically inspired weaponry, and realistic depictions of ceremonial life reinforce the narrative's credibility. The musical score, combining orchestral and Polynesian elements, accentuates emotional beats and epic sequences alike, creating a cinematic experience that draws viewers deeply into the world of 18th-century Hawaii. The critical reception reflects appreciation for these elements. Commentators have praised Chief of War for its cultural respect, attention to historical nuance, and powerful performances. The series has been highlighted as a model for how historical dramas can educate, entertain, and celebrate Indigenous perspectives without resorting to simplification or stereotyping. By presenting a narrative rooted in native Hawaiian experience, the show challenges conventional storytelling and contributes meaningfully to ongoing conversations about representation and historical accuracy in media. The series opens with a sweeping panorama of the Hawaiian Islands, highlighting their natural beauty and the vibrant ecosystems that sustained life for centuries. Rolling hills, volcanic peaks, lush forests, and pristine beaches set the stage for the human drama to unfold. From the outset, viewers are introduced to the fragmented political landscape of the islands. Each island is governed by its own alii, and rivalries often flare into violent conflicts. The tension is palpable, alliances are fragile, and loyalty can shift with little warning. Kaiana, a skilled warrior and charismatic leader, is depicted as both a product of this turbulent era and an individual shaped by experiences beyond the islands. Early in the narrative, he is shown traveling abroad, returning with a nuanced understanding of global politics, weaponry, and trade, which gives him a strategic advantage but also places him in a morally complex position. The audience sees a man caught between worlds, his loyalty to his people and heritage, and the allure of knowledge and tactics gained from distant lands. Kaiana's journey is interwoven with the stories of other key figures, each representing different facets of Hawaiian society. Kahumanu, played by Lucienne Buchanan, emerges as a formidable presence, embodying intelligence, resilience, and political acumen. Her interactions with Kaiana and other leaders highlight the delicate balance between diplomacy and ambition. Meanwhile, Temuera Morrison's Chief Kahekili represents the traditionalist perspective, emphasizing the preservation of island autonomy and the dangers of foreign interference. Cliff Curtis portrays Kiua, a character whose motivations are often ambiguous, reflecting the complex loyalties and personal ambitions that drive the narrative forward. Kaina Mekua's portrayal of Kamehameha I introduces a legendary historical figure whose eventual unification of the Hawaiian Islands serves as the series' underlying historical anchor. Kamehameha's presence in the story is both symbolic and practical. His actions, decisions, and military campaigns provide the structural backbone around which the personal and political dramas unfold. The series places extraordinary emphasis on the lived experiences of Indigenous Hawaiians. Unlike traditional historical dramas, which sometimes flatten cultural identities into stereotypes, Chief of War delves into the daily life, customs, and spiritual beliefs of the people. Scenes depicting traditional rituals, canoe building, farming practices, and communal gatherings provide authenticity and context. The dialogue often incorporates elements of oral storytelling, reflecting how history, morality, and wisdom were traditionally passed down. These cultural depictions are not mere background, they influence character decisions and plot developments. For instance, spiritual guidance from kahunas, priests or wise men, informs the strategies and ethical choices of leaders, adding layers of nuance to political maneuvers and military campaigns. Inter-island warfare is a recurring and visually compelling theme throughout the series. Battles are choreographed to reflect historical accuracy, with careful attention to tactics, weaponry, and geography. The production team consulted with historians and cultural advisors to ensure that the depiction of combat respects the historical context while remaining cinematically engaging. Canoes laden with warriors, spears, and traditional shields feature prominently in naval skirmishes, while land battles emphasize strategic maneuvering and leadership. Kayana's role as both a warrior and a strategist is central. His decisions in battle often carry profound ethical weight, influencing the fates of entire communities. The series also depicts the devastating consequences of war, from loss of life to the displacement of families, highlighting that unification and conquest are rarely simple victories. Another significant narrative thread is the arrival of Western influence. European and American traders, explorers, and missionaries begin to arrive on the islands, bringing new technologies, ideas, and diseases. These encounters are portrayed with a focus on their disruptive impact. Foreign firearms alter the balance of power in warfare, trade introduces economic dependencies, and differing religious and cultural values create tension. Kayana's exposure to these foreign elements gives him unique insights but also raises ethical dilemmas. Should he adopt foreign methods to gain advantage, potentially eroding his cultural identity? How can he protect his people while engaging with the outside world? The series explores these questions in depth, emphasizing that the consequences of cross-cultural contact extend far beyond military advantage. The storytelling is enhanced by the series' cinematography. Sweeping drone shots, intimate close-ups, and dynamic camera movements create an immersive experience. Wide landscapes underscore the grandeur of the islands and the epic scale of the conflicts, while personal moments are captured with sensitivity, allowing viewers to connect with the characters' internal struggles. Lighting, color grading, and naturalistic set designs further immerse audiences, making each scene feel grounded in its historical moment. Costumes, crafted with painstaking attention to historical detail, visually communicate hierarchy, status, and identity. Warriors' armor, ceremonial garb, and everyday attire all serve as storytelling devices, subtly conveying character traits, political affiliations, and cultural values. Music is another crucial element that reinforces the emotional and cultural depth of Chief of War. Hans Zimmer's compositions, combined with James Everingham's input, blend orchestral grandeur with traditional Hawaiian instrumentation, creating a soundscape that complements both the epic and intimate moments of the series. Drums, chanting, and stringed instruments evoke traditional Hawaiian music, while the orchestral layers heighten tension during battles or pivotal plot points. This dual approach ensures that the soundtrack supports the narrative rather than overpowering it, creating a balance between authenticity and cinematic impact. The character arcs are particularly compelling because they do not rely on simple notions of heroism or villainy. Kayana, for example, is portrayed as a multifaceted leader whose choices are shaped by personal ambition, loyalty, love, and ethical consideration. His relationships with other characters, including romantic connections and alliances, deepen the narrative, showing that personal motivations often intersect with political and cultural responsibilities. Similarly, Kamehameha I is not a distant, mythical figure. He is humanized through intimate scenes that reveal his decision-making process, moral doubts, and strategic thinking. By presenting leaders as both fallible and heroic, the series challenges conventional historical narratives and invites viewers to grapple with the complexity of history. Chief of War also dedicates significant attention to secondary characters and supporting storylines. These narratives enrich the world building and provide additional perspectives on the central conflicts. For instance, depictions of commoners, artisans, and warriors' families illustrate how political upheaval and warfare affect everyday life. These subplots emphasize that history is not solely shaped by kings and chiefs, it is also the cumulative experience of entire communities. By weaving together multiple narrative threads, the series achieves a depth and richness often absent in conventional historical dramas. The release strategy on Apple TV Plus was designed to maximize audience engagement. The first 2 episodes were released simultaneously on August 1, 2025, providing viewers with immediate immersion into the narrative world. Subsequent episodes were released weekly, allowing for discussion, reflection, and anticipation to build between installments. This episodic approach mirrors the unfolding of historical events, giving viewers time to absorb the complexities of inter-island politics, character development, and thematic depth. The trailer, released in July 2025, effectively conveyed the series' epic scope, highlighting dramatic battles, intricate political negotiations, and emotionally charged personal conflicts. The historical foundation of Chief of War is both precise and flexible. While the series draws on documented events, such as the unification of Hawaii under Kamehameha I and the foreign contact experienced by the islands in the late 18th century, it also compresses timelines and dramatizes events to create a cohesive narrative. This approach allows the series to remain faithful to the essence of historical truth while crafting a compelling story suitable for modern audiences. The inclusion of spiritual, cultural, and social practices adds depth, portraying the Hawaiian people not as passive observers of history but as active participants in shaping their destiny. Cultural consultation played a vital role throughout the production. Hawaiian historians, language experts, and cultural practitioners collaborated with writers, directors, and actors to ensure that the series accurately reflected traditions, values, and historical realities. This consultation extended to choreography, ceremonial representation, and dialogue, demonstrating a commitment to authenticity that sets Chief of War apart from many other historical dramas. The integration of native Hawaiian language, particularly in ceremonial or formal contexts, underscores the importance of language as a vessel of culture, knowledge, and identity. The series opens with Episode 1, The Chief of War, where the central figure, Kaiana, returns to his homeland after time abroad. He is welcomed back into a tense political landscape, as the islands are fragmented under multiple chieftains and rival factions. Kaiana faces the difficult decision of whether to align with King Kahekili's war efforts or remain independent, and the episode establishes the complex web of loyalties and power struggles that will drive the story. His return immediately sets the tone of impending conflict and foreshadows the trials he will face. In Episode 2, Changing Tides, Kaiana and his family are forced to flee Oahu under the threat of danger. The escape reveals the precariousness of life in a politically unstable environment, while the broader political turbulence among the island kingdoms begins to take shape. This episode emphasizes shifting allegiances and introduces the audience to the uncertainties and dangers that define the islands during this era. Episode 3, City of Flowers, follows Kaiana as he arrives in a new, distant region, far from his original home. Meanwhile, Kahumanu starts positioning herself strategically alongside Kamehameha, highlighting the intricate power dynamics and alliances forming in the background. The episode focuses on the balancing act of trust, loyalty, and ambition as each character navigates the growing tensions. The story continues in Episode 4, City of Flowers Part 2, where internal power struggles intensify within the Kingdom of Hawaii. Kamehameha is shown grappling with increasing responsibilities, while Kaiana searches for a figure named Tony, hinting at unresolved past conflicts and personal connections. Political maneuvering escalates, and the stakes grow higher as alliances are tested and rivalries become more pronounced. Episode 5, The Race of the Gods, features Kaiana returning with urgent warnings. He is thrust into a dangerous trial, designed to evaluate his loyalty and intentions, reflecting the precarious nature of leadership and trust among the chiefs. Rival factions, particularly under Kahekili and other powerful chiefs, increase pressure, foreshadowing the larger conflicts to come. In Episode 6, The Splintered Paddle, mistrust surrounding Kaiana intensifies. His past and his connections with outsiders create uncertainty, while the threat of war looms ever closer. This episode emphasizes the fragility of alliances and highlights the challenges of navigating leadership under both internal and external pressures. Episode 7, Day of Spilled Brains, centers on conflicts arising from the presence of outsiders and differing opinions on how to respond to foreign influence. The episode deepens the moral and cultural dilemmas faced by the main characters, while tensions continue to build toward the inevitable clash of forces. In Episode 8, The Sacred Nyo Grove, a significant loss affects Kaiana deeply, heightening the emotional intensity of the story. As the call to war becomes unavoidable, Kamehameha must make critical decisions that will determine the fate of the islands. Themes of grief, responsibility, and leadership dominate the narrative, setting the stage for the season finale. Finally, Episode 9, The Black Desert, delivers a climactic conclusion with a large-scale battle between Kaiana, Kamehameha, and the combined forces of rival chiefs. The conflict reshapes the political landscape and resolves many of the immediate threats, though lingering tensions hint at future challenges. The finale balances dramatic action with cultural and emotional depth, leaving room for potential continuation in later seasons. Kaiana and his family find themselves on the run from Oahu, fleeing under the constant threat of violence and betrayal. The episode opens with a palpable sense of urgency as they navigate treacherous terrain, moving through dense forests and across perilous coastlines. Every step is fraught with danger, highlighting not only the physical challenges of travel but the precariousness of their political position. As Kaiana contemplates the broader conflicts among the island kingdoms, viewers see the strain of responsibility etched on his face. He is not just a warrior but a protector of his family and people. The episode emphasizes the fragility of alliances, showing how rival chiefs exploit uncertainty and fear to consolidate power. Alongside the tension of pursuit, there are quieter moments that reveal the personal stakes. Kaiana reconnects with his children, offering guidance, reassurance, and glimpses of his vulnerability. The spiritual and cultural practices of the Hawaiian people are subtly woven in, from whispered prayers to ancestral spirits to respect shown for sacred spaces encountered during their flight, reinforcing the deep connection between land, lineage, and duty. Meanwhile, political maneuvering continues behind the scenes as distant chiefs debate strategy and loyalty, creating a layered narrative of both overt and unseen pressures. The episode carefully balances action with reflection, showing how Kaiana's choices affect not only immediate survival but the potential for future leadership. By its conclusion, the sense of danger has intensified, the family's trust in each other deepened, and the audience is left with the understanding that the coming confrontations will test both the body and the spirit, setting the stage for larger conflicts and higher stakes in the episodes to follow. The series also provides a compelling exploration of the interplay between personal ambition and collective responsibility. Kaiana, while a heroic and charismatic figure, is portrayed as someone deeply aware of the consequences his choices have for the broader community. His interactions with other chiefs illustrate how leadership in this era is both political and moral. Alliances are fragile, often shifting due to pragmatic needs or ethical disagreements. In moments of confrontation, Kaiana must weigh personal loyalty against strategic advantage, and the series does not shy away from showing the painful repercussions of these decisions. These dynamics are mirrored in the relationships of other characters, highlighting that leadership, regardless of era, involves navigating competing priorities and moral ambiguities. Religious and spiritual elements are interwoven throughout the series. Hawaiian spirituality, with its reverence for ancestors, land, and natural forces, is depicted as central to daily life and governance. Rituals, prayers, and offerings are shown in detail, reflecting the cultural norms and worldview of the time. These practices are not mere set dressing, they influence political decisions, military strategies, and social interactions. The series emphasizes that understanding the spiritual dimension is essential to understanding Hawaiian history and leadership. By incorporating these elements authentically, Chief of War educates audiences about the depth and complexity of Hawaiian cosmology and its role in guiding both personal conduct and societal structures. Education and knowledge transmission are also recurring themes. Elders, advisors, and mentors play crucial roles in shaping the perspectives and decisions of younger leaders like Kaiana. Scenes depicting instruction, storytelling, and consultation reinforce the importance of oral tradition and cultural memory in maintaining social cohesion and guiding decision-making. These interactions demonstrate that leadership is learned, not merely inherited, and that wisdom is valued as highly as martial prowess or political acumen. The series portrays these mentorship dynamics with care, illustrating how knowledge, values, and cultural identity are passed down through generations. The depiction of women in Chief of War is particularly notable. Female characters are shown exercising influence both within and outside formal political structures. Figures like Kahumanu, portrayed by Lucienne Buchanan, demonstrate intelligence, diplomacy, and agency, contributing significantly to the narrative and political outcomes. Women's roles in the series extend beyond traditional domestic spheres, reflecting historical realities where Ali'i Wahine, female chiefs, held authority and could shape the course of events. The series presents these characters with depth and complexity, challenging stereotypes and highlighting the contributions of women to Hawaiian society, politics, and cultural preservation. A distinctive feature of Chief of War is its attention to the environmental and geographic realities of the islands. The series portrays the interdependence of people and the land, illustrating how geography influences political strategy, resource management, and daily life. Battles and movements of troops are shaped by the terrain, while agricultural practices, fishing, and trade are depicted as central to the survival and prosperity of communities. This attention to environmental context reinforces the authenticity of the series and highlights the sophistication of Hawaiian society in managing its natural resources sustainably. The tension between indigenous traditions and the influence of Western contact is explored with nuance. While European arrival introduces new technologies, weapons, and knowledge, it also brings disruption in the form of disease, cultural misunderstandings, and shifts in power dynamics. Kaiana and other characters navigate these changes with a combination of caution, adaptation, and resistance. The series does not present colonization in a simplified narrative of oppression or progress. Instead, it portrays a complex interplay of influence, showing how indigenous leaders strategically engaged with foreign powers to preserve sovereignty, culture, and autonomy. These interactions add layers of historical realism and ethical complexity to the storytelling. The series' cinematography deserves particular attention for its role in storytelling. Sweeping aerial shots of volcanic peaks, lush valleys, and ocean vistas establish a sense of scale and grandeur, while intimate close-ups during personal confrontations convey emotion and tension. Camera movement, lighting, and framing are used to emphasize narrative stakes, from the tension of council meetings to the chaos of battlefield sequences. The visual language reinforces themes of power, isolation, and interconnectedness, immersing viewers in both the physical and emotional landscape of 18th-century Hawaii. Costume design and visual symbolism further contribute to the depth of the series. Attire is carefully crafted to reflect social status, familial lineage, and regional identity. Tattoos, jewelry, and ceremonial garments are used to signify rank, achievements, and spiritual beliefs, allowing viewers to understand cultural hierarchies visually. These elements are not static, they evolve with the narrative, reflecting character development, political shifts, and personal transformations. The attention to these details enhances immersion and demonstrates respect for historical and cultural authenticity. The ensemble cast's performances elevate the storytelling, creating an emotionally resonant and intellectually engaging series. Each actor embodies the complexities of their character, conveying moral ambiguity, strategic intelligence, and cultural depth. Interactions between characters are often layered with subtext, reflecting the historical realities of negotiation, loyalty, and intrigue. These performances allow audiences to appreciate the multifaceted nature of leadership and community life in the Hawaiian archipelago, offering both entertainment and education in equal measure. Themes of honor, duty, and legacy permeate the series. Characters are consistently reminded of the long-term consequences of their actions, not only for themselves but for future generations. Kaiana's decisions, whether on the battlefield or in council, are informed by an awareness of the weight of history and the importance of cultural preservation. This focus on legacy reinforces the series' historical grounding and emphasizes that leadership is inseparable from moral and cultural responsibility. The narrative invites viewers to reflect on the ways in which personal choices shape collective memory and societal trajectories. The series also emphasizes storytelling as a tool for cultural survival. Oral histories, chants, and traditional narratives are integrated into the plot, highlighting their role in preserving knowledge, transmitting values, and reinforcing communal bonds. By incorporating these elements authentically, Chief of War not only entertains but also educates viewers about the richness and continuity of Hawaiian cultural traditions. The use of storytelling within the series mirrors its broader purpose, to reclaim and communicate historical narratives that have often been marginalized or misrepresented in mainstream media. The release strategy of Chief of War enhances audience engagement and cultural impact. By premiering the first 2 episodes on Apple TV Plus on August 1, 2025, followed by weekly releases, the series allows viewers to digest complex narrative developments, discuss themes, and anticipate future plotlines. This approach mirrors traditional serial storytelling, fostering community discussion and engagement while maintaining suspense. Critical reception highlights the series' visual splendor, narrative depth, and cultural authenticity, signaling a successful blend of entertainment and education that resonates with both general and specialized audiences. The trailer effectively sets the tone for the series, emphasizing epic battles, political intrigue, and cultural rituals. It conveys the tension between personal ambition and collective responsibility, the stakes of leadership in a fragmented archipelago, and the beauty and peril of the natural environment. Viewers are invited to anticipate a series that is as intellectually stimulating as it is visually spectacular, offering a layered narrative that explores identity, power, and history. The trailer's visual and musical composition reinforces the emotional intensity of the series, using sweeping landscapes, ceremonial imagery, and a dramatic score to create anticipation and immersion. Chief of War positions itself as more than a historical drama, it is a cultural reclamation project. By prioritizing Indigenous perspectives, authentic language use, and accurate representation of social, political, and spiritual practices, the series challenges conventional narratives and provides visibility to Hawaiian history and identity. It underscores the importance of cultural representation in media, showing that Indigenous stories can be told with complexity, nuance, and cinematic excellence. The series serves as a model for culturally informed storytelling, demonstrating that entertainment and historical fidelity can coexist and reinforce one another. The first episode of Chief of War immediately establishes the stakes and the grandeur of the story. The series begins with Kaiana returning to the islands after years abroad, bringing with him new knowledge, experience, and weapons that could alter the balance of power. Early scenes depict the political fragmentation of Hawaii, with each island governed by its own chief and frequent skirmishes erupting over territory, resources, and influence. Through Kaiana's eyes, viewers witness the challenges of leadership, balancing loyalty to his home island with his personal ambitions, managing alliances with other chiefs, and navigating the intricate cultural expectations of his people. The episode also introduces viewers to the complexity of Hawaiian society, illustrating social hierarchies, the role of spiritual advisors, and the importance of ceremonial traditions. The cinematography is both breathtaking and intimate, capturing sweeping island vistas alongside the nuanced expressions of the characters as they confront difficult decisions. In subsequent episodes, Kaiana becomes increasingly enmeshed in the inter-island conflicts. His early alliances are tested as rival chiefs, such as Kahekili of Maui, assert their power through both diplomacy and military might. Episodes 2 and 3 focus on the strategic maneuvers and military engagements that define the period, showcasing large-scale battles, naval engagements in traditional canoes, and tactical planning sessions. Kaiana's leadership skills are highlighted, as he demonstrates ingenuity in leveraging both traditional Hawaiian combat techniques and the foreign knowledge he has acquired abroad. These episodes emphasize the ethical and moral dilemmas faced by leaders, when to strike, when to negotiate, and how to balance the well-being of one's people with the demands of war. The series does not shy away from depicting the human cost of these conflicts. Scenes of wounded warriors, devastated villages, and grieving families remind viewers that history is shaped not only by victories but also by profound loss and sacrifice. One of the standout elements of these early episodes is the development of secondary characters. Kahumanu emerges not merely as a political ally but as a strategic thinker whose counsel and insight influence critical decisions. Her interactions with Kaiana and other chiefs reveal the delicate power dynamics at play, highlighting the role of women in Hawaiian leadership and governance. Similarly, the series explores the internal conflicts of Chief Kahekili and Kiua, providing context for their actions and motivations. By humanizing these figures, the series avoids simplistic portrayals of good versus evil, instead presenting a multifaceted narrative in which characters' choices are shaped by history, personal ambition, cultural expectation, and survival instincts. As the series progresses, foreign influence becomes an increasingly significant theme. European and American ships appear on the horizon, introducing new weapons, trade goods, and ideas that disrupt the established balance of power. Kayana's interactions with foreign traders highlight the dual-edged nature of these encounters. On one hand, new technologies and knowledge provide strategic advantages, on the other hand, they pose threats to cultural integrity and autonomy. Episodes 4 through 6 delve deeply into the ethical and cultural tensions provoked by these interactions. Kayana's decisions regarding the adoption of foreign methods reflect broader questions of cultural preservation, adaptation, and compromise. The series portrays these dilemmas with subtlety, showing that progress and preservation are not mutually exclusive but require careful negotiation and foresight. Throughout the middle episodes, the series intensifies its focus on interpersonal relationships and political intrigue. Alliances shift, betrayals are revealed, and personal motivations intersect with historical events. Kayana's loyalty is repeatedly tested, both by other leaders and by his own conscience. These episodes explore themes of trust, honor, and the burdens of leadership. Scenes depicting clandestine meetings, strategic negotiations, and moral deliberations add depth to the narrative, showing that the outcomes of battles are often determined as much by diplomacy and intelligence as by martial prowess. The series also emphasizes the role of advisors, spiritual leaders, and family members in shaping decisions, illustrating the interconnectedness of society and the collaborative nature of leadership in Hawaiian culture. The later episodes bring the narrative toward its climactic conflicts, as Kamehameha's ambition to unify the islands gains momentum. Kayana's interactions with Kamehameha are particularly compelling, as the series explores the tension between respect for tradition, personal loyalty, and the strategic necessity of unification. Scenes depicting council meetings, ceremonial rituals, and battlefield encounters highlight the convergence of political, cultural, and military considerations that define the historical moment. The series portrays the process of unification not as a simple conquest but as a complex negotiation of power, identity, and societal cohesion. Kayana's internal struggle is mirrored by the broader societal upheaval, showing how individual decisions can influence the trajectory of entire civilizations. One of the most visually striking aspects of the series is the depiction of battles and military campaigns. The production team invested heavily in choreographing combat sequences that reflect historical accuracy while maintaining cinematic drama. Canoe battles are staged with attention to navigation techniques, weaponry, and tactics used by Hawaiian warriors. Land engagements emphasize strategic positioning, the use of terrain, and the coordination of units under a central command. These sequences are augmented by careful use of camera angles, lighting, and sound design to create tension, excitement, and a visceral sense of immediacy. Rather than relying solely on spectacle, the series ensures that each battle serves a narrative purpose, advancing character development and thematic exploration. Character development remains a core focus in the latter episodes. Kayana's evolution from a returning warrior to a leader grappling with profound ethical dilemmas is depicted with nuance. His interactions with Kahumanu, Kamehameha, and other chiefs reveal layers of complexity, as he negotiates between personal ambition, cultural obligations, and moral responsibility. The series also explores themes of loyalty, betrayal, and identity through secondary characters, whose choices provide counterpoints and reflections on Kayana's journey. These relationships are integral to the storytelling, showing how individuals are both shaped by and shape the societies in which they live. The series concludes by emphasizing the consequences of the unification process. While Kamehameha's eventual consolidation of the Hawaiian Islands is historically inevitable, the narrative highlights the costs associated with achieving this goal. Loss, displacement, and cultural tension are central to the final episodes, reminding viewers that history is rarely a simple story of victory or defeat. Kayana's personal journey ends in a manner consistent with the series' emphasis on moral and ethical complexity. He is neither purely triumphant nor wholly defeated, but transformed by his experiences and the choices he has made. Production insights reveal the extraordinary effort invested in bringing Chief of War to life. Filming across multiple Hawaiian islands and New Zealand locations posed logistical and environmental challenges, from unpredictable weather to the need for accurate set construction in remote areas. The use of authentic costumes, weaponry, and ceremonial artifacts required collaboration with cultural experts, artisans, and historians. Music composition, blending traditional Hawaiian motifs with orchestral elements, demanded careful integration to enhance both emotional and historical resonance. These production elements collectively contribute to the series' immersive quality, ensuring that viewers experience not only the narrative but the cultural and historical context in which it is grounded. Themes explored throughout the series extend beyond historical events. Chief of War addresses cultural identity, the consequences of foreign influence, the ethics of leadership, and the tension between personal ambition and societal responsibility. The series also interrogates the process of historical memory, questioning how narratives are constructed, who has authority to tell them, and how cultural heritage can be preserved in the face of external pressures. By combining historical accuracy with dramatic storytelling, Chief of War invites viewers to reflect on these enduring questions while remaining engaged in the epic narrative of Hawaii's unification. Chief of War is a groundbreaking historical drama that immerses viewers in the complex, turbulent period of Hawaiian history during the late 18th and early 19th centuries, a time when the islands were fragmented into separate kingdoms, each governed by powerful alii or chiefs, with competing ambitions, cultural obligations, and loyalties. At the heart of the series is Kaiana, portrayed by Jason Momoa, a warrior of exceptional skill, intelligence, and worldly experience. His journey, both external and internal, serves as the lens through which viewers experience the unification wars, the rise of Kamehameha I, and the profound cultural and political shifts that defined the era. From the very first episode, the series establishes an epic tone, juxtaposing the breathtaking beauty of the islands with the harsh realities of conflict, showcasing battlefields, sacred temples, ceremonial rituals, and the intricate web of alliances and betrayals that characterize the period. The series begins with Kaiana returning from distant lands where he has acquired knowledge of Western weaponry, maritime navigation, and tactical warfare, skills that immediately distinguish him from his contemporaries and make him a figure of interest for multiple factions. His arrival is met with curiosity and skepticism. He is both an outsider and a native son, a paradox that will define much of his narrative arc. The initial episodes establish the fragmented political landscape. Kauai, Maui, Oahu, and Hawaii each maintain their own rulers, alliances, and feuds, and there is constant tension between the desire for local autonomy and the growing ambition of Kamehameha I to unify the islands. Early scenes emphasize the social and cultural norms that govern relationships, obligations, and expectations, including the reverence for ancestral knowledge, the role of spirituality in leadership, and the importance of familial ties. As Kaiana becomes increasingly involved in political and military affairs, his character is tested in multiple dimensions. He is called upon to advise Kamehameha, to demonstrate leadership in battles, and to navigate the treacherous waters of allegiance and trust. The first episode carefully introduces supporting characters who will play pivotal roles. Kahumanu, portrayed by Lucienne Buchanan, emerges as a politically astute and charismatic figure whose decisions shape alliances and conflicts. King Kahekili of Maui, played by Temuera Morrison, exemplifies the formidable challenge Kamehameha faces in his unification campaign, and Kamehameha himself, embodied by Kaina Mekua, is portrayed not simply as a conqueror but as a visionary leader whose moral compass and strategic mind must be constantly negotiated against the harsh realities of war. The series emphasizes that leadership is not merely about physical prowess or dominance but about navigating cultural expectations, political pressures, and personal ethics. In terms of plot development, the early episodes focus heavily on the initial confrontations between the islands, the negotiation of alliances, and the introduction of Western influences. Kaiana's exposure to firearms and European military techniques provides both an advantage and a source of tension, as other leaders are forced to reconsider traditional methods of warfare. The narrative carefully balances large-scale battle sequences with intimate character moments, exploring the psychological and emotional toll of leadership, loyalty, and conflict. Through these episodes, viewers gain insight into the intricate decision-making required to maintain honor, secure power, and protect one's people, as well as the broader consequences of unification campaigns on social structures and cultural practices. As the series progresses, each episode delves deeper into the moral and cultural dilemmas faced by Kaiana and those around him. He is increasingly torn between supporting Kamehameha's vision of a unified Hawaii and maintaining his loyalty to his home island, Kauai, and its traditions. His internal conflict mirrors broader themes within the series, including the tension between tradition and innovation, the impact of foreign influence on indigenous societies, and the personal sacrifices demanded by leadership and warfare. The narrative does not shy away from depicting the brutality of war, including ambushes, sieges, and interpersonal betrayals, yet it simultaneously highlights moments of cultural preservation, spiritual reflection, and human connection, offering a holistic portrayal of life during this transformative era. Character arcs are richly developed across the supporting cast as well. Kahumanu emerges as a masterful political strategist, whose influence and decisions shape the trajectory of unification. King Kahekili represents both the external threat to Kamehameha's ambitions and the embodiment of Maui's enduring cultural identity. Kamehameha himself evolves from a determined leader with regional ambitions into a figure whose vision extends beyond conquest, seeking to establish a cohesive political entity while grappling with the ethical implications of his actions. Secondary characters, including warriors, advisors, and family members, each possess their own motivations, loyalties, and conflicts, contributing to the narrative complexity and richness of the series. These intertwined arcs highlight the interconnectedness of individual actions and broader historical outcomes, reflecting the delicate balance between personal agency and collective destiny. Production design and cinematography play an essential role in conveying the epic scope and cultural authenticity of the series. Filming took place across multiple locations in Hawaii and New Zealand, with careful attention to historically accurate architecture, village layouts, and ceremonial spaces. Costumes are meticulously crafted to reflect traditional Hawaiian attire, including specific symbols, patterns, and materials that signify rank, lineage, and affiliation. The series' music, composed by Hans Zimmer and James Everingham, integrates traditional instruments, chants, and rhythms, reinforcing the cultural and emotional resonance of key scenes. Battle choreography combines traditional martial techniques with the strategic innovations introduced by Western weaponry, creating sequences that are both visually impressive and narratively significant. The series' historical grounding is further reinforced through its depiction of specific events and figures, such as the eventual unification of the islands under Kamehameha, the influence of European contact, and the shifting alliances among local chiefs. While creative liberties are taken to enhance drama and narrative cohesion, the series maintains a strong commitment to representing the complexities of Hawaiian culture, political strategy, and social hierarchy. Cultural consultants were involved throughout production to ensure accurate representation of language, rituals, and customs, demonstrating a respect for indigenous knowledge and heritage that distinguishes Chief of War from many other historical dramas. Episodes build toward climactic confrontations between key factions, with Kaiana's decisions and actions serving as pivotal turning points. The tension between personal loyalty and political necessity is a recurring motif, as characters navigate shifting alliances, treacherous landscapes, and the relentless pressures of warfare. The series excels in portraying not just physical battles but also ideological and emotional struggles, depicting the ways in which leadership requires negotiation, compromise, and moral courage. Interpersonal relationships are layered and multifaceted, with family ties, mentorships, and rivalries influencing both strategic decisions and personal choices. The final episodes of the season emphasize the culmination of these tensions, presenting the consequences of Kaiana's choices, the solidification of Kamehameha's power, and the broader implications for Hawaiian society. The narrative carefully balances resolution with ambiguity, leaving room for reflection on the costs of unification, the persistence of cultural identity, and the ethical challenges inherent in leadership and warfare. Viewer reception has highlighted the series' ability to evoke both emotional engagement and intellectual reflection, inviting audiences to consider the human dimensions of historical events alongside the spectacle of epic storytelling. Throughout Chief of War, the integration of historical fact, character-driven drama, and cultural authenticity creates a richly textured narrative that appeals to both casual viewers and those with a deeper interest in history and anthropology. The series challenges conventional portrayals of Indigenous history, offering a perspective that foregrounds Hawaiian voices, experiences, and agency. Its use of language, music, and visual storytelling underscores the importance of preserving cultural heritage while engaging with universal themes of power, loyalty, and identity. The series' release on Apple TV+ has expanded its global reach, allowing audiences worldwide to engage with a narrative that was previously underrepresented in mainstream media. Critical reception has been largely positive, with particular praise for the performances, production values, and cultural fidelity. Some critiques note the intensity and complexity of the narrative, suggesting that the series demands active engagement from viewers to fully appreciate its intricacies. Nonetheless, it has been widely recognized as a landmark series for its ambition, scale, and commitment to authenticity. Chief of War stands as a testament to the potential of television to illuminate historical events and cultural narratives in a manner that is both entertaining and educational. By combining epic storytelling, nuanced character development, and meticulous attention to cultural detail, the series offers a compelling portrayal of a transformative period in Hawaiian history. It invites reflection on the interplay between individual agency, cultural identity, and historical forces, demonstrating the enduring relevance of these themes across time and place. Beyond the immediate events of warfare and political maneuvering, Chief of War explores the psychological and emotional dimensions of leadership in times of crisis. Kaiana, as the central figure, is shown grappling with fear, doubt, and the moral weight of his decisions. His internal struggles are portrayed with sensitivity and depth, illustrating that true leadership involves constant self-reflection, ethical deliberation, and the courage to make difficult choices. These depictions humanize historical figures, moving beyond simplistic heroism or villainy, and instead presenting leaders as multidimensional individuals whose actions are shaped by a combination of personal conviction, cultural values, and strategic necessity. The series also highlights the concept of collective responsibility within Hawaiian society. While chiefs wielded considerable authority, their power was understood to be accountable to the community, spiritual obligations, and the natural environment. Kaiana's strategies and alliances are frequently informed by the council of elders, advisors, and family members, demonstrating the interdependence inherent in governance. By portraying these consultative processes, the series emphasizes that leadership was not merely a matter of force or charisma but required wisdom, negotiation skills, and adherence to societal norms. This depiction provides viewers with a nuanced understanding of political structures in pre-colonial Hawaii, highlighting the sophistication and adaptability of its leaders. Interwoven with political and military narratives is the exploration of cultural preservation. The series emphasizes the importance of maintaining traditions, language, and spiritual practices amidst change and external pressures. Hawaiian rituals, ceremonies, and storytelling practices are shown as vital mechanisms for reinforcing communal bonds, transmitting knowledge, and legitimizing leadership. Kaiana's engagement with these traditions underscores the series' message that cultural identity and continuity are central to leadership, survival, and societal resilience. By foregrounding these practices, Chief of War educates audiences about Hawaiian values and provides a counter-narrative to depictions of colonized peoples as passive or historically inert. A recurring motif in the series is the tension between destiny and agency. Characters, particularly Kaiana, are often confronted with the notion that certain historical outcomes may be inevitable, whether due to geography, political dynamics, or foreign influences. Yet the series emphasizes that individuals possess the capacity to shape events, make morally significant choices, and leave lasting legacies. This interplay between fate and free will adds philosophical depth to the narrative, encouraging audiences to consider how historical trajectories are influenced by the interplay of structural forces and personal decisions. The depiction of warfare in Chief of War is notable not only for its scale and choreography but also for its attention to the human cost of conflict. The series does not glorify violence, rather, it portrays the toll of battle on individuals, families, and communities. Injuries, loss, and the emotional burden of command are explored in detail, reinforcing the stakes of political and military decisions. This approach provides a sobering counterpoint to the spectacle of war, emphasizing that leadership carries responsibilities that extend beyond tactical success or territorial conquest. The series' attention to the consequences of violence enhances its moral and narrative complexity. Kaiana's relationships with other historical figures, including Kamehameha I, Chief Kahekili, and Kiowa, are central to the unfolding drama. These interactions illustrate the interplay of rivalry, cooperation, and mutual respect in shaping historical events. Each character is depicted with individual motivations, strengths, and vulnerabilities, making alliances and conflicts dynamic and unpredictable. The series avoids simplistic portrayals of good versus evil, instead presenting a spectrum of human behavior shaped by culture, circumstance, and personal ambition. These layered relationships create narrative tension while offering viewers insight into the ethical and strategic considerations of leadership. The role of women in the series continues to be a vital aspect of storytelling. Characters such as Kahumanu exemplify political acumen, influence, and agency, demonstrating that women's contributions were integral to governance and social cohesion. Their perspectives and actions often shape key decisions, reflecting the historical reality of female alii who exercised power both formally and informally. By centering women in the narrative, the series challenges patriarchal assumptions about historical leadership and provides a more accurate, inclusive portrayal of Hawaiian society. Environmental context remains a pervasive element of the series. The islands themselves are treated almost as characters, with geography influencing strategic decisions, resource management, and the rhythm of daily life. Kaiana and other leaders navigate forests, mountains, coastlines, and rivers with intimate knowledge of the terrain, leveraging environmental features for defense, transportation, and sustenance. This depiction highlights the symbiotic relationship between people and their surroundings, emphasizing environmental awareness as a crucial component of survival and governance. The visual storytelling reinforces this connection, using cinematography to underscore the majesty, danger, and centrality of the natural world in Hawaiian life. Music and sound design continue to play an integral role in conveying narrative and emotional depth. The score blends traditional Hawaiian instruments with orchestral elements, creating a soundscape that is both culturally resonant and cinematically engaging. Ceremonial chants, war calls, and ambient natural sounds are integrated into the sound design to enhance immersion and underscore the gravity of events. This attention to auditory detail reinforces the series' commitment to authenticity and enriches the audience's sensory experience, making the world of Chief of War more vivid and emotionally impactful. Storytelling within the series mirrors its broader cultural mission. The use of oral traditions, genealogy, and historical narrative structures not only advances the plot but also reinforces cultural continuity. Characters often recount past events, lessons from elders, and ancestral wisdom, demonstrating how memory and history guide decision-making and ethical conduct. This narrative layering allows audiences to appreciate the depth of Hawaiian cultural heritage while simultaneously engaging with the unfolding drama. The series positions storytelling as both a plot device and a cultural practice, highlighting its centrality to identity, leadership, and societal cohesion. As the series unfolds, Kaiana's character development is marked by increasing awareness of the complexities of power, loyalty, and morality. His early confidence is tempered by experiences of loss, betrayal, and the ethical ambiguities of political negotiation. The series portrays these transformations with subtlety, emphasizing introspection and moral growth alongside external achievements. By tracing Kaiana's evolution, the series invites viewers to consider the human dimensions of leadership, the consequences of ambition, and the importance of cultural grounding in guiding actions. The release strategy of Chief of War reinforces its cultural and educational goals. By distributing episodes weekly on Apple TV+, the series encourages sustained engagement, reflection, and discussion among audiences. Viewers are able to analyze character decisions, historical context, and cultural representations over time, enhancing both understanding and appreciation. Critical responses have highlighted the series' narrative sophistication, visual and auditory richness, and its role in bringing underrepresented histories to a global platform. The series demonstrates that historically informed, culturally authentic storytelling can achieve both artistic excellence and broad audience appeal. Chief of War opens with Kaiana's dramatic return to his homeland on Kauai after years abroad. The islands are depicted in cinematic grandeur, with lush mountains, deep blue oceans, and cascading cliffs establishing the epic scale of the story. Kaiana returns transformed, carrying knowledge of foreign combat strategies, political structures, and new technologies that immediately set him apart from local chiefs. His arrival is met with awe, curiosity, and suspicion, particularly from Kahekili, the formidable ruler of Maui, who quickly recognizes Kaiana as a potential threat to his authority. The political landscape of the Hawaiian Islands is immediately established as fragmented and unstable. For major kingdoms, Hawaii, Maui, Oahu, and Kauai, vie for supremacy while maintaining tenuous alliances. Early council scenes depict complex negotiations, where decisions about strategy, tribute, and leadership reveal that authority in these islands is both fluid and precarious. Kaiana quickly realizes that navigating these dynamics will require both diplomatic acumen and military prowess. Subtle hints of impending conflict, including intelligence about Kahekili's territorial ambitions, foreshadow the struggles that will dominate the season. As Kaiana begins to interact with other chiefs, the series delves deeper into political intrigue. Kahumanu emerges as a strong, morally grounded figure, negotiating between factions and offering guidance to Kaiana. Their interactions reveal the nuanced role of women in Hawaiian society. Although warfare is dominated by men, women such as Kahumanu wield significant influence behind the scenes. Kiua, the chief of Hawaii Island, contrasts sharply with Kaiana, steadfastly adhering to traditional practices while viewing foreign influence with suspicion. Early appearances of traders and explorers introduce foreign technology and weapons, subtly altering the political landscape. Kaiana faces an internal struggle. He must decide whether to integrate these advancements to strengthen his position or remain faithful to the traditional ways of his people. Cultural and spiritual elements are woven seamlessly into the narrative, with council meetings punctuated by prayers, blessings, and consultations with kahunas, highlighting the inseparable connection between leadership and spirituality. By the episode's conclusion, Kaiana forms a cautious alliance with Kiua, laying the groundwork for future cooperative and adversarial dynamics. Conflict escalates as Kahekili attempts to assert control over disputed territories, culminating in the first major battle sequence of the series. The battles are portrayed with meticulous attention to realism, emphasizing the role of terrain, weather, and logistical constraints in determining outcomes. Kaiana demonstrates his tactical brilliance by leveraging knowledge gained during his travels abroad, outmaneuvering Kahekili's forces and gaining the upper hand. Despite this tactical success, the series does not shy away from depicting the human cost of war, showing injuries, civilian displacement, and the psychological toll on warriors, reinforcing the narrative's commitment to historical authenticity. Parallel storylines develop Kaiana's relationships with key allies. Kahumanu continues to provide counsel, emphasizing patience and strategic thinking, while Kamehameha I is briefly introduced, hinting at his future role as the unifier of Hawaii. By the end of the episode, the stakes are higher than ever, as Kaiana realizes that victories on the battlefield are only part of the equation in securing long-term influence. The fragile nature of trust becomes central in subsequent episodes as alliances are tested and betrayals emerge. An alliance Kaiana relied upon is revealed to be compromised, resulting in both tactical setbacks and political embarrassment. The narrative emphasizes the ethical complexities of leadership, highlighting how decisions must balance personal loyalty, communal well-being, and strategic necessity. Kaiana grapples with these dilemmas, weighing retribution against reconciliation, and demonstrating his growth as a thoughtful and multifaceted leader. Female characters, particularly Kahumanu, continue to play pivotal roles in mediating disputes and maintaining stability, while the series underscores the cultural significance of rituals associated with warfare, including ceremonial blessings and acknowledgments of victory or loss, which serve to legitimize and sanctify leadership decisions. Kamehameha I receives significant focus as the series reaches mid-season, establishing his early strategic brilliance and political acumen. His interactions with Kaiana are marked by a mix of cooperation and tension, reflecting both mutual respect and divergent goals. Kahekili's consolidation of power through intimidation and strategic alliances forces Kaiana to navigate increasingly complex political waters. The episode emphasizes that the stakes of leadership extend beyond territory, encompassing the loyalty of entire communities, the preservation of cultural practices, and the survival of family lineages. Kaiana's ability to balance these considerations while remaining true to his own principles is portrayed as a hallmark of his emerging leadership. The series intensifies as Kaiana implements innovative strategies inspired by his foreign travels, including coordinated attacks, tactical reconnaissance, and leveraging terrain advantages. While these strategies prove effective, they also generate skepticism among traditionalist allies, highlighting ongoing tension between innovation and adherence to cultural norms. Personal relationships deepen during this period, with Kaiana and Kahumanu confronting emotional truths and unspoken ambitions, while foreign influence through traders and weapons suppliers becomes increasingly consequential. These elements create a narrative that balances action with introspection, showing that effective leadership demands both courage on the battlefield and wisdom in council chambers. As the season progresses, consequences of previous decisions and battles come to the forefront. Kahekili launches a major offensive, testing Kaiana's strategic abilities and the resilience of his forces. The episode emphasizes the complexity of command, portraying Kaiana managing supply lines, troop morale, and loyalty simultaneously. Strategic marriages and diplomatic truces play pivotal roles, reinforcing the recurring theme that power is as much about intellect and negotiation as it is about martial strength. By the episode's conclusion, Kaiana achieves a significant tactical victory, though the political landscape remains unpredictable, setting the stage for further conflict and moral dilemmas. The penultimate episode heightens both emotional and political tension. Hidden betrayals are revealed, forcing Kaiana to reassess his alliances and strategies. Personal relationships suffer, with characters experiencing profound loss and grief, underscoring the human cost of ambition and warfare. Kamehameha's strategic advances accelerate, bringing him closer to unifying the islands, while Kaiana's decisions reflect the intertwined influence of personal agency and broader historical forces. The series adeptly balances large-scale battle sequences with intimate explorations of grief, reflection, and moral choice, deepening viewer engagement with both the story and its characters. The season concludes with climactic confrontations that determine the fate of the islands. Kaiana plays a pivotal role in decisive battles, yet the series underscores that history is shaped by multiple forces beyond any one individual. Kamehameha emerges as the unifying figure of Hawaii, while Kaiana's contributions are honored as both influential and emblematic of the complexities of leadership in this era. Personal arcs resolve with introspection on loyalty, sacrifice, and legacy, and the series closes with a reverent homage to Hawaiian culture, emphasizing continuity, resilience, and the enduring significance of ancestral traditions. Through its intricate storytelling, attention to cultural and historical accuracy, and nuanced character development, Chief of War delivers an immersive and educational portrayal of a critical period in Hawaiian history. At the heart of Chief of War lies Kaiana, portrayed by Jason Momoa, whose character embodies the tension between tradition and innovation, personal ambition and collective responsibility. Kaiana's journey is defined not merely by his military prowess but by his ethical and cultural dilemmas. As a warrior chief returning from foreign lands, he carries with him knowledge that could dramatically alter the balance of power among the islands. Yet his exposure to outside ideas creates internal conflict. Adopting foreign strategies or weapons could strengthen his position but risks eroding the traditions and values of his people. Kaiana is portrayed as deeply introspective, often engaging with spiritual advisors and reflecting on the consequences of his actions. His relationships with other chiefs, including Kamehameha and Kahekili, reveal a layered network of loyalty, rivalry, and negotiation, underscoring the delicate balance of leadership in a fragmented political landscape. Kahumanu, portrayed by Lucienne Buchanan, is another central figure whose intelligence and political acumen complement the martial focus of Kayana. She emerges not only as a strategist but as a moral compass for many of the series' decisions, representing the subtle power of diplomacy and counsel in Hawaiian leadership. Her character challenges traditional gender expectations, demonstrating that women in Hawaiian society wielded influence and navigated political landscapes with as much skill as their male counterparts. Kahumanua's interactions with Kayana, Kamehameha, and other chiefs explore themes of negotiation, alliance building, and the ethical dimensions of power. Her presence also allows the series to examine the intersection of personal ambition and cultural preservation, highlighting the roles women played in shaping Hawaiian history. Chief Kahekili, played by Temuera Morrison, represents the perspective of a traditionalist leader, committed to maintaining his island's autonomy while navigating the challenges of a changing world. His motivations are rooted in loyalty to his people and an understanding of the potential dangers posed by foreign influence. However, his ambition and desire for supremacy occasionally put him at odds with other chiefs, creating complex conflicts that drive much of the series' tension. Morrison's performance brings depth to Kahekili, showing him as both a formidable strategist and a man who must reconcile personal ambition with societal responsibilities. Kamehameha I, portrayed by Kaina Mekua, serves as both a historical anchor and a narrative focal point. While Kayana is the audience's guide through the story, Kamehameha's strategic brilliance and vision for a unified Hawaii shape the larger arc of the series. His portrayal emphasizes leadership that is calculated, ethical, and deeply aware of cultural imperatives. Through his interactions with Kayana and other leaders, the series examines the complexities of unification, the sacrifices, negotiations, and moral compromises required to consolidate power. Kamehameha's character highlights the historical significance of the unification process, while also humanizing him, showing the personal doubts, ethical questions, and relational dynamics that influence his decisions. Secondary characters in Chief of War play vital roles in adding depth and realism. Kiua, portrayed by Cliff Curtis, is a figure whose loyalties are fluid, reflecting the complexities of inter-island politics. His actions often serve as catalysts for conflict, forcing other leaders to navigate delicate alliances and ethical dilemmas. Supporting figures such as warriors, advisors, and family members provide additional perspectives on the cultural, political, and social fabric of Hawaiian society. These characters illustrate that history is not only shaped by prominent leaders but also by the collective decisions, experiences, and sacrifices of communities. Their interactions enrich the narrative, emphasizing the interconnectedness of individuals, families, and political entities. Cultural practices and spiritual rituals are central to the storytelling in Chief of War. The series meticulously depicts ceremonies such as offerings to the gods, blessings before battles, and rites of passage, demonstrating the spiritual dimension of leadership and warfare. Kahunas, or spiritual advisors, provide guidance and counsel, influencing decisions in both political and military contexts. These rituals are presented not as exoticized spectacle but as integral elements of Hawaiian life, shaping values, ethics, and social cohesion. The series also portrays everyday cultural practices, including traditional farming, fishing, and crafting, providing viewers with a holistic understanding of Hawaiian society. By integrating these elements, Chief of War highlights the ways in which culture, spirituality, and politics are interwoven, showing that leadership extends beyond battlefield strategy to include moral, ethical, and spiritual responsibilities. The series' treatment of warfare is equally nuanced. Battles are depicted with a careful balance of historical accuracy, strategic complexity, and cinematic intensity. Land engagements emphasize terrain, coordination, and tactical decision-making, while naval battles showcase traditional canoe warfare, navigation techniques, and weaponry. Beyond the spectacle, the series examines the ethical implications of warfare, decisions about targeting, the treatment of captives, and the responsibility to protect civilians are explored in depth. These depictions reinforce the series' broader themes of leadership, morality, and the human cost of political ambition. Kayana's personal relationships are central to understanding his character. Romantic connections, familial obligations, and friendships all inform his decision-making, providing emotional depth and complexity. The series portrays these relationships with subtlety, showing how personal attachments intersect with political responsibilities. For example, loyalty to family members may conflict with strategic considerations, while romantic or emotional bonds influence ethical choices in ways that extend beyond the battlefield. These dynamics add layers to the narrative, demonstrating that historical events are shaped not only by grand strategies but also by personal emotions, relationships, and moral considerations. The historical context of Chief of War is integral to the series' impact. The late 18th century was a period of profound change for Hawaii, marked by political fragmentation, inter-island warfare, and increasing contact with Western powers. European and American traders brought new technologies, trade opportunities, and ideas, while also introducing diseases and cultural disruption. The series presents these encounters with nuance, showing both the potential benefits and the profound risks associated with foreign contact. Characters must navigate these challenges thoughtfully, balancing the desire for technological advantage with the need to preserve cultural integrity. Through this lens, the series invites reflection on broader historical themes, how societies adapt to change, the consequences of external influence, and the moral dimensions of leadership and innovation.